speaking of alternative media, we've had something that has taken place in America. It has hit YouTube. It has gone viral of a young man, valedictorian of his class, who has taken a stand. He is shaking up the world because of the stand that he is taking. And I want to go right to this video right now so you can see and watch as his prepared speech is then, which has been approved by the school board, by the principal, is then torn up, and he takes off on something that is shaking up the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, a short piece. You can watch
right here. Here's a short piece because he's going to be our guest on Shabbat Night Live next. Take it away.
As I stand here before you, members of the school board, faculty, staff, family, friends, and fellow graduates, I first wanted to say that I turned in my speech to Ms. Gwynn, which she somehow seemed to approve. So obviously I didn't do my job well enough, so we're going to just have to use a different one here.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, all the way in from Liberty, South Carolina, the valedictorian of Liberty High School just flew his plane up here to be on the program. Everyone, please welcome Roy Costner IV. Roy.
Hey.
Good to have you here, brother. Welcome. Welcome to Shabbat Night Live. Well, Roy, I have been inspired by the stand that you have taken. And of course, you've been on CNN, you've been on Fox News, you've been on media all over the world just in the last couple of weeks. Tell us, give us a little bit of background now of what inspired this.
I mean, God's been a very important part of my life, and he always has been. I grew up in church, and I was saved at a very young age. And this
your father's a pastor, youth pastor.
Yes, sir. He's a Fellowship Community Church. And what was so odd is this organization called Freedom from Religion Foundation.
Freedom from Religion.
Yes, Freedom from Religion.
It sounds like an atheist evolutionist kind of group.
It is. Okay. And they contacted our school board, and they said that they need to remove prayer prior to the school board meetings. And so in return,
prayer in the school board meeting.
Yeah. So and that caused a lot of issues and frustrations within our community. Yeah. Community support was outrageous. We had, I dare say, thousands in attendance, standing room only outside the building, just in argument to have the prayer just before the school board meetings. And in response, the school board then revised. They spoke after speaking with several attorneys and the South Carolina State's attorney, revised all policies removing any types of aspects of prayer from the school board or from the school altogether, unless it was completely led by students.
Okay.
And it caused a lot of frustration. And so our administrator, Miss Gwynn, she told me and sat down with the salutatorian about 2 weeks prior to the commencements, and said that we could not have any allusion or any talk of God or any talk of any type of religion, Allah, whoever it may be. And this is my speech that I've worked to get here, and
That's right. This is 4 years of hard work. You're the only valedictorian in the class. You have earned the right to speak and what you are.
Yeah, and so she basically told us that I couldn't speak freely, that they had to approve whatever I had to say, and
so you wrote your entire speech out.
And I knew immediately that I wanted to include a prayer of some sort, but I wanted to include it for all denominations that I could. And so after I spent about 3 or 4 days praying, it was 3 days I spent praying. On the third day in devotion, I felt that I was led to do that. But by the fourth day, I was sure on the fourth day that I should do that. And it was the week before the commencement ceremonies, and I felt led to do it. And I'm sorry if they got offended.
Well, I'm not sorry. I think that kind of offense needs to happen. We have to be offensive in our faith because it was the atheist socialist out of Wisconsin that actually threatened to sue your school board because of having anything to do with God in the school board meeting or in the school, and they had to shut that thing down.
Yeah, what's so crazy about it is that there was no internal complaints within the community.
There you go.
It was brought from outside, from someone in Wisconsin who contacted our school board, and our school board was scared, I assume scared, just due to the fact that we may not have the funds to go through a trial like that.
My goodness. So what you did is you had your speech prepared ahead of time. It was all approved. And then we watched, and the whole world has now watched as you stood up there, you ripped the speech up, and then you spoke what's called the Lord's Prayer, and in Hebrew it's called the Avenu, the prayer to our Father that Yeshua taught his disciples to pray. And you actually ended up leading it, didn't you?
Yes, sir. It was overwhelming. You can't tell from the video. I was completely overwhelmed with emotion at the time because I didn't know what kind of response the school board or any of the students would have. It was unique because the school or the class actually started saying the prayer with me, and
Amen.
It was amazing. It was just to the point that I was brought to tears because I couldn't hear myself speaking anymore from such loud applause.
Well, maybe it wasn't you speaking. Maybe it was the
God
Spirit
speaking.
in you.
That is right.
That was that gave you the strength to do that, and I applaud you. Now, we were talking earlier about there's a lot of talk about generational curses in the Christian world, but here you are. You're Roy Costner the fourth. Your father is a pastor, and here you have inherited from your forefathers a spine of steel, a mind like a steel trap, and the Almighty has really had a very profound impact on your life from the very beginning, has he not?
He has. Originally, when I was born, my mother had a syndrome called HELP syndrome, and they had told the doctors to come back. I was born. I was brought out as a C-section. I was supposed to be born 6 weeks later in June, but instead I was born in April. And my lungs were underdeveloped, and they said that they told my father that they did not think that neither me nor my mother would live, and it's by our Father's grace that
right there, your father was actually told to make arrangements because both you and your mother were expected not to live through that heroic intervention as far as a birth. And then now we come a few years later, and you were originally not going to be the valedictorian. Is that correct?
Yes,
what
sir.
happened to put you into the spotlight of planet Earth?
Well, originally, I'd always been salutatorian or lower, and this final year, I happened to take fall semester of this past year, I happened to take an extra class than our valedictorian who was ahead of me. And so by taking this class, it pushed me a little bit ahead of him, but I was going to be pushed back down because I had a B average in another class in the spring semester, or the most recent semester. And it just so happened that this professor, I don't know why or what his reasoning was. He doesn't even believe in extra credit. He told us that at the beginning of the year, that he would not give any extra credit. And he felt like that he should give me the credit to boost me to keep an A to maintain the valedictorian spot.
And it looks like that was the best decision. Now, as I was watching the video, and you started out, "Our Father who art in heaven." When you did that, it's like I could see the faculty behind you. It's like they froze.
Yes, sir.
But yet, I was wondering how many of them were saying, "Go for it, Roy. Go for it, Roy. Go for it, Roy." Did you feel that you had the support of the community, even though they couldn't say anything? What did you feel was going on in post-Christian America, as our president likes to say, that we're no longer just a Christian nation. Now we can, equally endorse religious wackos from, all areas of life. But in your area, you're in the Bible Belt. What did you feel was going on there?
I felt the community would support me. I definitely felt that they would support me just because of everything that's going on and the turnout that we had whenever they had the school board meeting just to oppose the Freedom from Religion Foundation. I was not sure how the school board or the staff members would react because I had not spoken to them prior. I was hoping that they would be respectful of what I chose to do, and they were. Well,
now, as I understand, you already had your diploma. You had graduated. There's really nothing they could do.
Yes, sir. But I hate causing issues, and I didn't mean it for it to be so big. It was this whole event that took place. I mean, it was only meant for our community. It was meant for our localized community. I didn't expect such an extraneous or such a magnitude of response.
Well, Roy, we are thankful that this caused a stir. This is the kind of thing that needs to happen around the world because we have lost it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have lost it here in America. This was a nation that declared to the entire planet that we are a nation that believes in creator-given rights, that there is a creator to whom we are responsible for. He created us, given us rights and responsibilities, and now in the public re-education system, the Department of Re-Education out of D.C., you know, they've taken the whole concept of a creator completely out of the picture. I suppose you probably didn't have too many classes on the Bible as you would have at Harvard and Princeton in previous generations, but you're in the Bible Belt.
Yeah, and we had no classes like that. We covered no types of religion at all. We would cover it as an overview, like this has happened in the past. This is why people believe what they believe. But we didn't go in straight or to different measures into it. We didn't elaborate more in class. It was very direct, and they push for evolution in school now, which I don't agree with.
Well, where are we going from here, Roy, in your life? You know, where do you feel that you're being led?
I'm not sure. I will do wherever God leads me, I will follow. And that's how I go day by day. I have to take it a day at a time and see what he wants.
Amen.
And
Amen.
That's the biggest thing. I'm planning on attending Clemson and hopefully getting my computer science degree from there, a bachelor's of science, and hopefully continuing a local news site that we do for the upstate.
Well, our prayers are with you, our support is with you, and may Yah bless you in all that you do in your life. Thank you for being with us, Roy. And
it's really for such a time as this. I mean, this is for such a time as this. You know, this is your time. The media's got the attention, and he'll give you the words to speak. So
yes, sir.
Take advantage of it. You're in a good spot.
Yes, that's right.
Because you were bold.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being with us. What we are going to do now is we're going to take a short break, and then Anna Maria Soprano will be back with us with her new song, Never, right after this message for our supporters. That's you out there.